Hey guys, this is Spiffy Guy and I'm out here working on my garden, and I need to put in a trellis so I can have my cucumbers and tomatoes grow vertically. So that's what we're gonna make on this episode of Around the Home. So trellising plants vertical can increase your yield. It can also be a better utilization of space. I have tomatoes and cucumbers in these last 5 squares, and I put them on the north side of my garden so they won't shade out the rest of the garden when they start getting taller. And you can basically trellis a lot of squash, you can trellis melons, you can even trellis pumpkins, as long as you support the fruit once they start to grow. So there's a lot of neat, useful ways that you can utilize your space by growing vertical. So let's talk about what we're going to need to use on our trellis. I'm going to make my trellis out of EMT conduit, which is essentially electrical conduit. You can find this in the electrical department of your local Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. Now what I have here, I want my trellis to be 7 feet high. I figured that's going to be high enough that the plants can get tall, but still be short enough that I can pick my stuff off. It's up to you however you want to do it. They sell it in 10 feet and 5 foot sections, so I bought one 5 foot section. That's going to be my top crossbar, and then I also bought 2 10-foot sections that I'll have to cut to 7 feet. Now to anchor this in the ground, I'm using 1/2 inch rebar here, and it comes in 48-inch lengths, or you can get it in 10-foot lengths. I would have preferred a 5-foot section, but I didn't really feel like having to go through cutting rebar, and I really didn't have the ability to carry a 10-foot section home. So I opted for the 48-inch sections. And just so I don't know if I mentioned this is a 3/4 inch conduit, and I bought 2 of these. 2 of these right angles, and these are going to form our right angles like that. And to connect them all together, we have these straight connectors. Okay, and these are 3/4 inch as well. For the trellis itself, I bought this trellis netting online. This is a 5 foot by 30 foot section. So my garden is 5 feet wide, and this will give me enough for a couple trellises if I put in another raised bed. This has squares that are 7 inch. Okay, some of the netting is a lot smaller. Apparently 7 inch is a good number. So some of the tools that we're going to use here, we're going to need a hammer to knock that rebar in, and we're going to need a level to make sure that we're going straight up and down. And we're also going to need a measuring tape to measure off, and a way to cut it. Now I have a pipe cutter here. You could also use a hacksaw. We'll see which one works the best. And then we're going to use a screwdriver on these set screw couplings right here. So let's get measuring. We're going to measure out this 10-foot section to 7 feet. If you've never used a pipe cutter before, these things are pretty much dead simple. You just use this screw knob here to open the jaws, put it on the pipe where you want it, and then you just start turning the pipe. And as you can see, it puts a score in there. Every couple turns, tighten up the screw knob there, and it just cuts right through. Utilizing these set screws are really easy. You just stick them in. There's a little knob that they'll stop at, and then you just use your screwdriver and tighten it in. Then you take your right angle, you just fit it in as well. It's hard to do with the camera in front of you. And just tighten them up nice and good. So for placement of your posts, you're going to want to come in just a few inches. By putting the trellis further back, you can bring the plants away from the rest of the garden and then up the trellis. Now this is a 4-foot section. We're going to pound it in to about the halfway mark, so about 24 inches. And we're just going to do it just a little ways away from the edge of your raised bed. You don't want it rubbing against there, but you want to get it in a good 24 inches. And then our 3/4 inch conduit is going to just slide right on top. Make sure to use your level and make sure that you're straight up and down on both sides. And whatever measurement you use here, make sure to use the same on the other side. Once you get your frame built, you're going to need to put your netting on there. Keep in mind that these right angles do add a little bit of width. So if you're trying to get exactly 5 feet, you're going to need to cut that pipe. As you can see, I have a little bit of a gap on either side, and I might cut that pipe, you know, now that I think about it. Take, you know, 3-4 inches off each side, and that way the netting won't have such a large space behind it. I only really need 5 feet though, because I'm only 5 foot wide there, so just something to consider. Once you got your frame to length, you can start kind of tying in your trellis and kind of see where it all is going to lay. I'm going to go ahead and actually put it up into place, and then I'll tie it off. That way gravity lets it hang a little bit better. Alright, as you can see, I have the trellis up. It's a little crooked. You know, that ain't bad. I could always go up to the top and undo the coupling and take out another inch of pipe if I wanted to bring this left side in a little bit, which I may do at some point. But I just went ahead and tied it all up at the top, tied it on the sides, and we're gonna have a nice little you know, trellis for these plants to grow vertical on. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this is helpful, and you guys can get out there and trellis some of your own vegetables. I'd like to hear about that. So if you have questions or comments, go ahead and stick them down below. Until the next video, go out and start growing your own vegetables. Thanks.